The steam clung to my skin like a secret I couldn't shake. The hot water pounding against my back as if it could wash away years of buried longing. I turned off the faucet. The sudden silence amplifying the creak of the bathroom door uninvited. Unexpected. There stood Ethan. My best friend since we were kids trading baseball cards in the dusty lots of suburban Ohio. His blue eyes locking onto mine with a hunger that hit me harder than any punch. Words dying on his lips before they could form. Leaving only the raw truth screaming from his gaze. He wanted me. Just as I'd always wanted him. That moment shattered everything. We'd built our lives on easy laughs and late-night drives down Route 66 knockoffs. Two 22-year-olds navigating the grind of post-college. Mary came crashing at his place in Chicago after my graphic design gig fell through. Him grinding away at that entry-level marketing job that paid just enough for craft beers and bad decisions. But now, towel slipping from my grip, water pooling at my feet. I saw it, the flicker of desire he'd hidden behind bro hugs and no homo jokes. The same one I'd drowned in silent crushes since high school locker room glances that lingered too long. My heart slammed against my ribs. A wild drumbeat echoing the storm brewing in his widened eye shock. Fear. And something electric. Undeniable. Liam. He finally choked out. Voice rough like gravel under tires. But he didn't move. Didn't look away. And in that frozen beat, I knew our world had tilted on its axis. I grabbed the towel, wrapping it tighter around my waist. But the vulnerability hung heavy, thicker than the mist. Ethan. What the dude? Ever heard of knocking? My voice cracked, feigning casual. But inside, I was unraveling. We'd shared everything. First beers stolen from his dad's fridge at 16. Road trips blasting Springsteen through the Rust Belt heartland. Confessions over bonfires about dreams bigger than our small-town roots. But this was the line we danced around for years. The one where friendship blurred into forbidden territory. He swallowed hard. Adam's apple bobbing like he was choking on the words. His broad shoulders honed from weekend pickup, game stensing under his faded Cubs hoodie. I forgot my keys. Thought you were out. Shit. Man. I didn't mean, but his eyes betrayed him again. Tracing the droplets down my chest. Lingering on the curve of my collarbone. And I felt exposed in ways no shower could cleanse. We stood there. The bathroom a sauna of tension. The faint hum of the city outside our cracked window mocking the chaos within. Ethan finally tore his gaze away, rubbing the back of his neck. That telltale flush creeping up his neck, the same one I'd caught glimpses of during summer barbecues when I'd strip off my shirt to jump in the lake. Sorry. Really? I'll wait in the living room. He backed out. Door clicking shut softly. But the damage was done. I leaned against the sink, staring at my reflection in the fogged mirror. Wiping a streak clear to see the guy who'd loved his straight best friend in silence for half his life. What now? Pretend it never happened. Or finally let the truth crash over us like the waves we'd body surfed on Lake Michigan vacations. My pulse raced. A mix of terror and thrill. Because in his eyes, I'd seen my own hidden ache reflected back raw. Real. And ready to ignite. Drying off hastily, I pulled on jeans and a worn tee. The fabric sticking to damp skin. Every nerve alight. The apartment was a typical 20-something mess. Pizza boxes stacked like modern art on the coffee table. Our shared Netflix queue paused on some dumb action flick. posters of indie bands peeling from the walls. Ethan sprawled on the couch, pretending to scroll his phone, but his knee bounced like a jackhammer. I dropped into the armchair across from him, the leather creaking under me, and the air between us crackled charged, waiting for one of us to flip the switch. So, I started, voice steadier than I felt. Keys. Huh. You live here too. Genius. He chuckled, but it was forced, hollow, his blue eyes flicking up to meet mine before darting away. God, those eyes always the giveaway. Stormy like the Midwest skies before a tornado. We'd joked about it once. Drunk on cheap whiskey after a Bears loss. How his gaze could pin you in place. Make you spill secrets you didn't know you had. Tonight, it pinned me, and I wasn't running. Yeah. Well, brain fart. He set the phone down, leaning forward, elbows on knees. That rugged jaw clenched. Ethan was the golden boy-type blonde-haired, tousled just right. Easy smile that charmed professors and baristas alike. The guy who'd aced community college on a baseball scholarship before life pulled us to the Windy City. Me. I was the artist. The dreamer with ink-stained fingers and a portfolio full of sketches that captured fleeting emotions but never quite nailed my own. We'd balanced each other out. Yin and yang in a world that chewed up guys like us and spat out conformity. But conformity be damned. Look. About earlier, I cut in. Heart in my throat. His head snapped up. Vulnerability cracking through the facade. Liam. Don't. It was nothing. Just steam and shit. My bad for barging in. Lies. I could smell them. Sharp as the aftershave he splashed on for job interviews. I leaned in, mirroring his posture, our knees almost brushing. Nothing. Your eyes. Man. They were screaming something else. The words hung there, bold and bare. And for a second, I thought he'd bolt grab his jacket and hit the door like he did after that fight with his dad last year over getting his life together. Instead, he froze, breath hitching. What do you want me to say? That I fuck. He ran a hand through his hair, tugging hard. The gesture so familiar it twisted my gut. We'd been through hell together, my coming out at 17. Him standing by me when half our high school town whispered slurs behind our backs. His messy breakup with Sarah last summer. Me holding his hand through the tears he swore were from allergies. Through it all, I'd buried my feelings deep. Convinced he was straight as the Ohio River. Content with stolen glances and the warmth of his arm slung over my shoulders during movie nights. But now, the room shrank, the world narrowing to the space between us. Say what your eyes already did, I whispered, voice thick with years of unspoken want. He searched my face, those blues darkening like twilight over the lake. And then God help Mayhay leaned closer, the heat of him pulling me in like gravity. Our breaths mingled, the scent of his soap and my shampoo a heady mix. And in that suspended heartbeat, I tasted the possibility, not just survival, but surrender. The kiss, when it came, was tentative at first, a brush of lips, soft and searching, like testing storm clouds for rain. Ethan's hand cupped my jaw, thumb tracing my stubble, and I melted into it. The towel forgotten. The door unlatched. It deepened. Urgent now. Tongues tentative explorers in uncharted territory. His free hand fisting my shirt as if anchoring himself against the tide. Fireworks literal. Metaphorical exploded behind my eyelids. Every nerve singing with the rightness of it. This was Ethan. My Ethan. The boy who'd shared my first cigarette. My first heartbreak. Now claiming my mouth with a desperation that mirrored my own buried dreams. We broke apart gasping. Foreheads pressed together. His eyes, those damn eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Liam. I've thought about this. More than I should. His voice was a rasp. Confession spilling like rain. Since that night at the cabin. When you kissed that guy from art class and I couldn't stop watching. Jealousy. Man. It ate me alive. My heart soared. Cracked open like a geode under pressure. Revealing the glittering truth we'd both ignored. Why didn't you say? I murmured. Fingers threading through his hair. Soft as corn silk. Fear. He admitted. Pulling back just enough to meet my gaze fully. Of losing you. Of what it means in a world that still side-eyes guys like us. The weight of it landed heavy America's patchwork of progress. Where Chicago's pride parades clashed with small-town silences. Where we'd grown up dodging Bible thumpers and bro-code traps. But here, in our cramped apartment with the L train rumbling below, we were rewriting the rules. That night blurred into touches and whispers. Bodies rediscovering each other under the glow of streetlights filtering through blinds. His skin was warm, mapped with freckles from childhood summers. And every sigh he drew from me felt like absolution. We didn't rush explored with the reverence of survivors. Hands trembling as they traced scars both seen and unseen. When dawn crept in, painting the walls gold, we lay tangled in sheets that smelled of us. His head on my chest, heartbeat syncing with mine like a lullaby. But dawn brought reality's sharp edges. Ethan stirred, eyes fluttering open, and for a split second, panic flashed regret. No, just the morning after jitters of a man stepping into unknown waters. Morning, I said softly, kissing his temple, tasting salt from dried sweat. He smiled, lazy and real, pulling me closer. Best wake up ever. We laughed, the sound lightening the air. But beneath it simmered the undercurrent. What now? Tell the world. Or guard this fragile thing like a flame in wind. Breakfast was pancakes from a mix. Burnt edges and all. Eaten cross-legged on the floor with coffee steaming in mugs we'd bought at a flea market in Wicker Park. Stories flowed as hidden crushes on movie stars we'd both swooned over. My sketches of him tucked away in drawers, capturing that jawline in repose. It felt like coming home. This easy intimacy laced with new heat. But as we cleared plates, his phone buzzed. Work. The grind. Gotta head out, he said, reluctance in his voice. And the kiss goodbye lingered, promising more. I watched him go, door clicking shut, and sank onto the couch, head spinning. Joy warred with dread. This was real. But real came with risks. Friends who might not get it. Family back home with their quiet judgments. The internal voices whispering, too good to last. Yet as I pulled out my sketchpad, pencil flying across the page to capture his departing silhouette, hope bloomed fierce. For the first time, my art felt alive, pulsing with possibility. Ethan and I. We were just beginning. Two hearts sinking in the chaos of young love, ready to face whatever storms the city threw our way. Days melted into weeks, a whirlwind of stolen moments amid the relentless pulse of Chicago life. Mornings started with his lips on my neck, coffee brewing as we planned the dame hunting freelance gigs, him navigating office politics with that disarming grin. Evenings were ours, walks along the lakefront, wind whipping off Michigan waters carrying whispers of freedom, hands brushing until they intertwined, bold in the twilight. We'd laugh about the absurdity how one accidental door open changed everything, then tumble into bed, bodies learning rhythms that spoke louder than words. But cracks appeared, subtle at first. A text from his ex, Sarah, popping up during dinner, miss our talks. Coffee. He showed me, transparent, but the old guilt flickered in his eyes. It's nothing, he assured, deleting it. But I saw the shadow years of straight-laced expectations weighing him down. My own demons stirred too, a call from Mom back in Ohio, her voice laced with that passive concern. When are you bringing a nice girl home? Liam. Ethan's such a good influence, find someone like his Sarah. I laughed it off, but it stung. A reminder of the chasm between who I was and who they hoped I'd be. One night, after a brutal dame rejected from yet another design firm, him chewed out by his boss for a campaign flop, we sought solace in a dive bar on Division Street. Neon buzzing like faulty nerves. Beers flowed, loosening tongues, and soon we were spilling guts to the bartender, a grizzled vet with stories of his own hidden loves. World's changing. Boys. He grunted, sliding shots our way. But it still bites back. Ethan's hand found mine under the table, squeezed tight. And in that gritty sanctuary, we toasted to us defiant. Alive. Walking home, buzzed and bold, we detoured through Grant Park, the bean reflecting our distorted grins under city lights. He pulled me close, kiss fierce against the chill, and murmured, I love you, Liam. For real. The words hit like lightning, grounding me in their truth. Love you too, I breathed, the admission freeing something deep. We made love there, in the shadow of skyscrapers, urgent and unapologetic, the world fading to just us. Yet the bite came swift. The next morning, Ethan's phone rang his dad, voice booming through speaker. Son, promotion at the firm back home. Real opportunity. And Sarah's a round good girl. Settled. Silence stretched, Ethan's face paling as he glanced at me. Torn. Dad. There's someone. The line went dead quiet, then exploded, not another phase. Ethan. Get your head straight. He hung up, shoulders slumping, and I held him as sobs racked his frame, grief for a father who'd never understand. Rage at a life scripted without room for us. We talked through it, curled on the fire escape. City symphony below. I can't go back, he vowed, voice steel. Not without you. But doubt crept in. Insidious whispers of what if he chooses them. I pushed it down, focusing on building our bubble, a joint art show pitch. Weekend getaways to the dunes. Nights where his eyes met mine with unwavering fire. Then came the storm. A mutual friend, Jake from high school, In town for a conference. Insisted on drinks. Bro reunion. He texted. Oblivious. At the bar. Beers clinking. Stories flying. Jake clapped Ethan's back. Still chasing tail. Sarah was primed at tell me you're slumming with Liam's artsy crowd. Laughter. But it landed wrong. Ethan's jaw tightening. I played it cool. But inside, old wounds reopened. Later. Alone. It erupted. He doesn't know? Ethan snapped when I pressed. None of them do. How do I drop this bomb? Hurt flared hot. So we're your secret. The thing you hide till it's convenient. Voices rose. Words like shrapnel, my accusations of cowardice. His pleas of protection. I need time. Liam. This isn't Ohio anymore. But it's not San Francisco either. Doors slammed. Me storming to the spare room, our bed, now a battlefield. Days blurred into icy standoffs, polite nods over cereal. Silences thicker than fog. I poured pain into Sketches' profile in anguish. Our hands unlinked while he buried in work. Coming home late. Eyes hollow. Love twisted into ache. The hook of that shower moment now a noose. Was this the end? The world testing if we were worth the fight. Rock bottom hit on a rainy Friday. I found him on the balcony. Soaked. Staring at the storm. I told Jake. He said. Voice breaking. Everything. He hung up. Said he'd pray for me. Tears mixed with rain. And I pulled him inside. Holding tight as the dam broke. You're enough. I whispered. Kissing away salt. We're enough. Forgiveness came slow. Rebuilt brick by tender brick. We sought Ali Issa local LGBTQ center. Group talks where stories echoed ours. Strengthening resolve. Ethan's dad sent a letter, stiff. Probing. But a crack, proud of the man you're becoming. Whatever path. Not acceptance. But a door ajar. Mine came around too. Mom's voice softening over calls. As long as he makes you happy. Honey. Months on. We stood at the altar of our choosing, not a church, but a lakeside pavilion under autumn leaves. Friends, Jake included. Contrite and cheering, witnessing vows exchanged with rings simple as our start. Ethan's eyes. Those blue truths. Locked on mine, I choose you. Every day? The kiss sealed it. Cheers rising like waves. Our story a testament not to perfection, but to the courage in vulnerability. The humanity in loving beyond labels. In the quiet after, as stars pricked the sky, I traced his hand with mine. The weight of rings a promise. We'd walk through fire. Emerged scarred but shining. Proof that eyes can speak volumes. And hearts, once bared, heal worlds. The reception spilled into laughter and toasts. Fairy lights strung like constellations over the pavilion, mirroring the ones now winking above Lake Michigan. Ethan and I swayed to an old Ryan Adams tune, his chin on my shoulder, breath warm against my ear. Can't believe we pulled this off, he murmured, voice husky from vows and whiskey. I pulled back just enough to meet those eyes, still the ones that undid me, now softened by certainty. We. You mean after I almost walked out that one fight? He grinned. That boyish flash. Squeezing my waist. Nah, that was the spark. Kept it real. Real. That's what we'd chased. From that steamy bathroom revelation to this dew rings glinting under harvest moon. Surrounded by a circle of chosen family who'd brave the awkward questions and sideways glances. Jake clapped us on the back later, beer in hand. His apology from months back, now a bond forged in honesty. You guys make it look easy, he said, eyes misty. Proud as hell. Easy. Hardly. But worth every tear. Every late-night doubt. As the night wound down, we slipped away, driving north along the lakeshore. Windows down to let October chill kiss our skin. The road unspooled like a promise. Dunes rising ghostly in headlights. We parked at our secret Spoda-forgotten beach access, where waves whispered secrets to the shore. Blanket spread. We lay back. His head pillowed on my arm. Fingers laced. Remember the first time here? I asked. Stars blurring as emotion swelled. He hummed a scent. After the bar fight with Jake's words. You dragged me out. Said we'd burn it all down if we had to. We had. In ways. Therapy sessions unpacking his dad's shadow. My mom's well-meaning but wounding calls. Community marches in Boys Town. Signs held high, love wins. But louder in our hearts. And the Art Me exhibit downtown. Portraits of us in stolen glances. Selling out to gasps and applause. Ethan's campaign pitch. Infused with our story's grit. Landing him a corner office and a quiet pride. But peace wasn't absence of storm. It was dancing in the rain. Think we'll make it? He asked suddenly. Voice small against the surf. I turned. Kissing his forehead. We're already there. Every look. Every touch it's proof. His eyes met mine. That unspoken language alive, gratitude. Fire. Forever. We made love slow under the moon. Bodies attuned like instruments in harmony. The world a distant hum. Morning brought coffee from a thermos. Shared black and bitter. Watching dawn paint the water pink. Back in the city. Life resumed its rhythmy studio buzzing with commissions. His meetings laced with purpose. Holidays loomed. First as husbands, Thanksgiving in Ohio. His dad's handshake firmer. Mom's pie sweeter with acceptance's warmth. Christmas in Chicago. Tree strung with ornaments from our travels, New Orleans, jazz haunts. California coast drives each a marker of miles conquered together. Challenges lingered. Of course. A colleague slur at his firm. Met with HR fire and his unyielding stand. My portfolio review. Nerves frayed until his note slipped in, "You're my masterpiece." We navigated with grace born of fire date nights at hidden speakeasies. Weekend hikes in the Smokies. Where trails mirrored our path, steep. Scenic. Summit sweet. One evening. Months into marital bliss. We hosted a dinner, friends, old and new. Table groaning under pasta and wine. Stories flew. Jake's engagement to a guy from his gym. Our high school coach's gruff email of support. Laughter peaked when Ethan recounted the shower incident. Edited for blushes, one look. And boom, life rewritten. Eyes around the table softened. Recognizing the miracle in mundane miracles. Later. Clearing plates. He cornered me in the kitchen. Arms bracketing the counter. Kiss stealing breath. Thank you. He whispered. For seeing me first. I cupped his face, thumbs brushing those eternal blues. Always will. In that moment, value crystallized not in grand gestures, but quiet endurance. The human thread weaving through chaos, love as rebellion, as redemption. Years folded forward. A tapestry rich. Our first home. A brownstone in Logan Square. Walls echoing with future dreams. Adoption papers signed. A little boy with Ethan's grin and my curls, teaching us depths we'd only glimpsed. Pride parades became family outings. His hand in mine. Our son's rainbow flag waving high. Through job losses. Health's Carissa scare with my heart. Echoing that first frantic beat we held fast. His eyes. Ever the compass. Guided, steady in crisis. Sparkling in joy. And mine. Reflected back the man who'd turned best friend into soul's echo. On our 10th anniversary. Back at that beach. Waves lapping like applause. We renewed vows under the same moon. I said it first. He teased. Ring sliding home. Lips sealed it. Laughter mingled with tears. The story full circle from hidden glances to open hearts. A testament to courage's quiet power. Love's unyielding light. In every glance exchanged over breakfast tables. Bedtime stories. Life's quiet corners. We live the truth, what lips deny. Eyes affirm. What hearts endure. Worlds transform. And in that, humanity's finest verse unscripted. Unbreakable. The little boy, we named him Riley. After the poet who sang of fields and freedoms changed everything. His tiny hands clutching ours as we navigated parenthood's wilds. Mornings were chaos. Ethan's tie half nodded. My coffee spilling as I juggled sketchpad and sippy cup. Riley's giggles the soundtrack to our symphony. Dada. He'd yell, launching into arms. And in those hugs, the kinks of daily grind smoothed. But parenting in a world still learning amplified old fears. School pickups drew stares when we both showed two dads. Hand in hand, and Riley's innocent. Why do they look funny? Papa. Pierced like arrows. We answered with stories, our story. Age appropriate. Of two friends who loved big enough to build a family. Ethan. Ever the protector. Volunteered at the school. His charm melting ice. Turning whispers to welcomes. Nights. After tucking Riley in with tales of brave knights and their loyal squires. We'd collapse on the couch. Wine unwinding knots. Think we're screwing him up. Ethan asked one evening. Head in my lap. My fingers carding through blonde strands silvering at temples. I smiled down. Tracing laugh lines etched deeper by joy. Nah. We're showing him love's shapes messy. Mighty. His eyes. Those blues now flecked with time's gold. Held mine, gratitude. Depth. Desire rekindled in quiet fires. Adventure called too. A sabbatical year. We packed the van, Riley strapped in. Dog-eared books and snacks galore for a cross-country loop. Tracing America's veins. Badlands' stark beauty mirrored our resilient spirits. Riley's awe at Mount Rushmore sparking talks of heroes, not just presidents, but everyday warriors like us. In Yellowstone, geysers erupting like emotions long suppressed. Ethan pulled me aside amid steam. Kiss fierce. Physis. Him, it's the eruption I never knew I needed. Challenges reared. Riley's questions about other moms. My creative block amid deadlines. Ethan's promotion stress straining seams. Fights flared sharp words over bedtime routines. Slammed doors echoing past pains. But we learned therapy's tools: breath, listening, touch as truce. One storm passed with rain-soaked makeup sex on the van's roof. Stars witnesses. Laughter healing rifts. Back home. Community deepened. We mentored at the center, sharing our arc from shower shock to family forge with wide-eyed youths. Eyes lighting like Ethan's once did. You give hope, one said, and in that, value bloomed, our pain, alchemized to purpose. Riley's 5th birthday. A backyard bash with rainbow cakes and water balloons. Captured it, friends. Family, his grandparents thawing. Hugs tentative but true. Chaos joyful. As he blew candles. Wishing aloud more adventures with my dads. Ethan's hand squeezed mine. Eyes speaking volumes. This is it. The meaningful end to beginnings. Love's legacy alive. Time's river flowed, carrying us to new bends. Riley at 10. Lanky like Ethan. With my artists, I sketching superheroes in capes of color. Questioning the world with a fierceness that both thrilled and terrified. School brought bullies. Slurs hurled like stones, freak family. He came home bruised. Not just body but spirit. And we held him as sobs shook small shoulders. Why us? Papa. The question echoed my own from years ago. But our answer was action, talks with teachers, assemblies on kindness, and nights where we shared our scars, Ethan's hidden years. My silent loves turning wounds to wisdom. We leaned on each other. Ethan's strength my anchor. My creativity his spark. A book project born from Riley's pain. Eyes that see. Illustrated tales of queer families triumphing. Dedicated to the boy who made us braver. It flew off shelves. Readings packed with tears and cheers. Our story rippling outward. Touching lives we'd never meet. Personal tides turned too. Ethan's midlife murmurings, am I enough? Met with my reassurances. Trips to therapy where we unpacked the straight boy ghosts. My own. A gallery show in New York. Nerves jangling like subway rails. But his presence in the crowd. Eyes proud. Made masterpieces of mediocrity. Vacation in Provincetown. Rainbow flags waving like welcomes. Riley befriending kids with 2 moms. 2 dads. None normalcy in diversity. Beach bonfires. Stories spun. His laughter free. And in the glow, Ethan whispered, we did this. Gave him wings. Kiss under stars. Passion tempered by time, but no less potent. Bodies familiar, yet forever new. Holidays evolved. Ohio gatherings less tense. His dad's toasts to my sons. Mom's albums now, including our wedding pics. Riley's pride in my family. Drawing us as a unit unbreakable. One winter night. Snow blanketing the brownstone. Riley asleep. We slow danced in the kitchen to Sinatra. Ethan's arms home. 40 looks good on you. I teased. Fingers in graying hair. His eyes twinkled, says the silver fox. Laughter led to bed. Love making a symphony of sighs. Affirming the arc from denial's door to devotion's depth. Riley's teens brought tempest hormones raging like Lake Michigan gales. Crushes confusing. Identity a puzzle piece slow. At 13, he confided over pizza, am I gay? Bye. I like this boy at school. But heart swelled. Pride mixed with protectiveness. We listened. No rush. Sharing our journeys, Ethan's late bloom. My early knowing, offering maps without mandates. Whoever you love. We love you. I said. Hug tight. School dances loomed. First suit awkward. Ethan teaching tie knots with gruff tenderness. Me snapping pics through tears. Date night for him. Our vigil anxious texts, all good a bomb. Home late. Grin shy. Story spilling, kiss stolen. Hearts racing. We high-fived. Champagne popped. Celebrating his brave step. Our own fires flickered too. Ethan's book tour. Weeks away. Left me holding 4 deadlines crashing. Loneliness a thief. Calls nightly. Voice bridge across miles. Miss your eyes. Return reunion. Airport dash. Kiss devouring distance. Reminder of roots. A move south. To Austin's vibrant pulse better schools. Warmer climes for Ethan's lungs uprooted but bloomed. New friends. Queer potlucks. Riley thriving in art club. First boyfriend tentative but true. Riley's 16th. Road trip gift route 66 Redux. Just us 3. Stops at diners echoing youth. Conversations deep, his dreams of film school. Our fears of empty nests. You'll always be home. Ethan vowed. Eyes misty over Grand Canyon vistas. Adulthood's mantle settled on Riley at 18, college bound for NYU. Duffel packed with dreams. Our garage sale of childhood ghosts. Drop-off day. Dorm room sterile. Hugs fierce. His love you. Dad's a lump in throats. Drive home silent. Apartment echoing. But grief birthed space. Date nights reclaimed. Travels unchecked Paris cafes. Tokyo neon. Hands linked in foreign tongues. Empty nest blues hit Ethan hard. Job transition to consulting freeing but adrift. Who are we without him? Nights of wine and what-ifs. But we rediscovered salsa classes. Stumbles to laughter. Pottery wheels. Hands muddied in creation. My gallery in Austin. His talks at universities. Stories evolving now, grandparents' tales for the next gen. Riley's visits. Boyfriend in tow, then solo. Then with pride flags waving. I'm Pan. Dad's. Fluid as fuck. Cheers and toasts. Our acceptance his launch pad. Grandkids. Early. But surrogacy whispers. Dreams deferred but dancing.